Big test just coming up. So we have a problem. Worked out for us.
It's not good.
Okay, but this is really fiddly. We're a couple of days on from the last entry on this. We're getting to the bottom of the problems, and just a quick update. The bearing is now on order. We managed to get the size of the original bearing. One's been ordered, and we should get that in a couple of days' time. In relation to the leaking air conditioning pipe, I've managed to get that back into the radiator company, and they're going to weld that up and repaint it, and we'll have that back very soon. In relation to the incorrect harness, the loom, where we only had 2 connectors on the end, all the diagrams for Honda say that there must be 3 connectors on the end and it's 1 cable. But actually, looking back at the video that I took at the time when I actually picked the items up, Dan showed me around the car, and I could see there was another cable there where the receiver dryer was, and he actually said at the time, I think you should have this cable on your car, which was not there. So it may be that it's an interim period when this was being introduced on the special edition, and eventually they went to 3 on the end, and that's why it appears in all the microfiches, all the instruction manuals. I know there was a supplement to my workshop manual that came out, and we just didn't have that. So maybe it was in there and the cable was separate. So I'm just on my way to Wales now. Quick, bit of a rush, but we're going to head up there a couple of hours, and I'm going to meet him. And he's taken the entire left side, the passenger side, as it is in the UK, loom off there. So we've got everything, so we can plug it straight into the ECU connectors, and we won't miss anything out. So hopefully that's going to complete everything we need to do to get the pressure switch into the circuit. Also, there is also a relay that was missing and a couple of fuses, and it's just going to throw those in for us. So hopefully now we'll have it completed, and the next entry will be once I pick them up, and then after that fitting the final things and getting it going. Hello and welcome to another Super Hondas video. This is part 3 of retrofitting air conditioning to my 3rd generation Honda Prelude. If you haven't seen the previous 2, the first one, finding rare parts, if you look for that video, that's the first one where we got the parts from and how we went about it. The second one is where we things didn't go to plan. So if you haven't watched those 2, I suggest you do that if you want to follow the whole series. This one is part 3, and we hope it's the final one, but we'll see. Let's get on with it. So this is the wiring loom, the passenger side wiring loom, or the near side if you're watching in the US. The connectors here will be going just under the glove box, and then this will come all the way through into the engine bay. There is a relay there which is already connected. I think I've got one to replace that if we need to, and then it comes all the way through to this, which is the missing connector to the pressure switch. And hopefully once we've got this all plugged in, it's going to be a bit of a job, but once we've got it all plugged in, we're going to get the whole system working. We'll see. So the pipe is back, it's fixed, and they've had to put a sleeve over it. The original pipe is so corroded that the only way they were going to stop it leaking was to put a sleeve on it. Now, this is where the bracket fits round, which you think, well, that's going to cause us a problem. This has got a rubber piece on the inside of this, so I think when we remove that rubber piece out and we just literally put some tape round here so it can grip, I think that'll be fine. And of course, the most important thing, it's not leaking. One thing I didn't show you last time was the fact we got the switch into the dash. It was a matter of removing the blank, and on the back of the blank was the wiring harness that was always there. And we were able to clip it in and push it into place, and there's literally just some clips on the side of the switch and it clips into place perfectly. And just to demonstrate we're all connected up, I'll switch on the dash now and you'll see that light up. So I've got the relay and the 15 amp fuse from the donor vehicle, and I'm just going to put those now in the fuse box. That's it, they're now in position. There's the receiver dryer in place. I didn't show that last time because we were half back in and worried about other things. So on reassembling the compressor, the pulley wheel was rubbing it against the clutch too much, and according to the book, the gap is 0.4 to 0.6, so feeler gauge needs to get in between these two. Now, it's very slightly catching now it's tightened up. Before, when we were tightening up the centre bolt, it was almost clamping it up, so that was no good. We've managed to use these shims and get it to a point where we're within tolerance, so it's ready to go back on the car. So we've started to get the loom that's fitted to the car out, and definitely wasn't tucked away anywhere, no pressure switch. So they must have changed the loom at some stage. And funny enough, in the manual and anywhere else we've looked, there's 3 wires coming across from the other side of the car, but the one that I got this replacement loom off had 2 separate looms, or 2 separate sides that things came from. So yeah, an unusual one, and I'm sure it's not a one-off. So check that on your car if you're doing yours. So this is your harness that's just come in through the car, and then this is connection block up here. So it's a little bit fiddly, but at least we're probably about gone 3/4 done now. So you've got most of it back in, but this is really fiddly, isn't it?
Yep.
So that's the compressor now back in. Obviously we'll need some green O-rings on the connectors and hook it up to the pipes. So the next thing is the condenser fan assembly. So that's both belts, auxiliary belts on, and the fan assembly just going into place. It's a tight fit in there. The condenser radiator is back in position, and let's hope it all works when we connect it up. So we've got the high side on the R12 to R134 converters for the filling tabs, and this one on the bottom here, unfortunately, is too big. And just doing some research, apparently Honda sometimes made these 3/16 and not a quarter on the thread, on the high side. So we're going to have to get a converter, or maybe get the AC place to convert it and do that side of it so we can fill everything up. So now we're really starting to get somewhere. All the wiring harness is connected up, and we've tied it up to the other harness next to it. So it's all neat. Compressors in, both auxiliary belts on, all the pipe work in place here. The wiring harness through into the inside of the car. The condenser radiator fan is in position, and new O-rings connecting to the compressor. There's not much else to do apart from connect up the compressor power lead, and which needs to be done from underneath, and then finish off inside the car, and then it's crossing fingers and hoping it's going to work. What we're going to do is we're going to put a short across the, well, there's 2 ways of doing this. You can put a short across the pressure switch, which completes the connection, start for about 3 seconds, or start the air conditioning for 3 seconds, and that means the compressor should kick in and the fan should come on, and that tells us the whole thing's connected up and talking to each other. There is another way. I think we can short the relay, and we may do it that way, but one way or another, that's how we test it. And well, yeah, crossing fingers, that's going to go, and then it'll be down to regassing it tomorrow or sometime this coming week. Engines on, and I'm going to press the switch, and then I'm going to show you once we connect the wire up. So it's green on the switch. And now, that didn't go quite to plan. Now we're going to short out the pressure switch, and hopefully there you go. There we go.
Did you want to see it anyway?
Yeah, sure. I'll come around that side, shall I?
You watch the compressor, yeah?
I'll bear me a second. Yeah, and there we go.
Hang on a minute.
There you go. It speeded up, and the fan came on, and that's it. We're working. Brilliant. So first we've got the pressure test. This is the point where we see whether all our good work has worked out for us.
That's not good.
Oh dear, we've already got a bad problem here. Where's that? A leak from one of the joints in the front here?
Yeah. Down here. It's on that pipe.
Oh no. Is that from this tap?
No, it's not from that tap. It sounds like it's... Put your hand around the back of that pod. It feels like it's coming from the back of the pod.
Oh God. That's not good. I'm back at What Radiators, who remade the condenser for me, and actually we discovered that the leak was coming out of here. The green O-ring was in place, but this nut hadn't been tightened properly. So now we've re-pressure tested it, and it's holding great. So it looks like the pressure test is good at the moment. Just wait for the full test, but I think we're there. So at the moment, vacuum is in process. Worrying, there's a red light on here, which makes me wonder what's happening. So you have a problem, the compressor clutch is not engaged, the fan is on, and the switch in the car is showing a red light. So here we are, 2 days later. I was struggling to actually say something constructive a couple of days ago when I found the system wasn't working. Came back here afterwards, tested it again, and found that although the clutch on the compressor was trying to engage, it couldn't fully engage and just eventually just dropped out. And we think that it may be down to the fact there's too many shims in there, and there's too big a gap, and so it can't fully pull in and push the gas through the system and carry on rotating. So we're going to give it another go this morning. We're going to do a few other things whilst we're at it as well, and hopefully you've made it to the video so far. Well, if you have, that's why you're watching this bit of the video now, and hopefully we're going to have a good result at the end of the day. So things have been stripped down, and we've now got the compressor removed from its position, and now we're removing the pulley wheel to remove one of the shims. Correction, we've actually removed the clutch, which is the bit we want to remove, and get the correct amount of shims in there. Okay, so we've managed to remove a shim and get the tolerance down from the clutch to the pulley wheel, and it's turning fine. Hopefully that's going to be enough to engage the clutch when we get the system back together, and this is what we're doing now. The fan's gone back in, and then we're just connected up underneath, and then the alternator's going to go in, and it's putting the belt on and giving it a test. Okay, just give it a second. We're on cold, we've got the blower on, and press the air conditioning. Oh no! The red lights come on. The red lights come on. Okay, so you can imagine my disappointment, and the only thing that we can think it could be, and we did do a test on the coil, a resistant test, and it was just a completely odd figure that came up. The trouble is the wiring diagram in the book and what we were testing on don't seem to match, but we felt that we got the right connectors. So I think it's probably the coil that's a problem. So how do we get a coil? I don't know. We shall see, but it's not something that's going to be done this side of the event I'm going to, so I'm just going to have to live with being warm in the car, and it's for another day. Anyway, if you're still with us, if you haven't liked the video already, please like and share and subscribe if you've not subscribed to the channel. And we'll see you in the next one, which I hope will be a little bit more joyous.